Greetings, child.
In ancient Greece, philosophers roamed the streets advising the youth to open their minds to critical thoughts and possibilities of the future. They advocated for discourse to expand the number of ideas present so that you can have the illusion of freedom to choose which path to take, how to min-max your happiness and satisfaction in life, on the premise that if you had all the information about something, you could maybe recalibrate your brain algorithm and be happy. This worked so well that most philosophers were dirt poor and begging on the street for scraps. Only some were lucky enough to get patrons who wanted to finance more of their bullshit. Extensive dive into the reasons behind why things are the way they are. The golden mean, the concept that Aristotle expanded upon, said that we should strive to meet in the middle of our extremes, our excess and our deficiency, while he enjoyed the lifestyle provided by his pupil, the world conqueror Alexander the Great. But Snark, what does this have to do with Baldur's Gate 3? First, Aristotle was an enabled hypocrite, Alexander was a rich edgelord that enjoyed excessive orgies, and you don't know if buying the game is or was a good decision because you probably keep hearing good things about the game, but you're a bit skeptical about buying early access and the state of the game, due to the character of the people you're hearing the information from. So let's add one more opinion to the pile, and I invite you to reflect on how that affects you. There is no golden mean, there is no happy middle ground, and I don't think you should compromise with your money or your time for any game that you just might enjoy. Here are the major reasons why you should avoid buying or playing Baldur's Gate 3 Early Access. The why. The devs themselves advise you not to buy this game if you're not gonna send feedback. This includes checking the box in the launcher and playing without mods so that it doesn't compromise the data sent. You can play without sending data, but regardless of that, your experience is limited to an incomplete Act 1 where some quests and NPCs are bugged and the stories end on a cliffhanger.
That such a thing lives inside me is unbearable.
The communicated development time has sparked controversy since the start of EA on the forums, due to technical and gameplay problems of early access. We recently received a somewhat vague release date of possibly the end of 2022, but probably sometime in 2023. My guess is that it will be May 26 of 2023. However, trying to predict what Sven is thinking is like trying to roll a 20 with an 8-sided dice that's weighted to almost always roll a 1. This caused people to express their dissatisfaction with the visibility of the projected release timeframe from Larian. Whether you went in with the expectation of 2022 or 2024 or even 2025 release date, the communication of the game development progress is stale at best. There have been, still are, and will be game-breaking bugs during the process, as well as performance issues for various systems because the game is not optimized. This is a process that is usually addressed at the final stages of game development, so if you have a mid-tier machine, you will run into various technical issues that will take away from your experience. And I understand that this is not enough to deter people from buying the game, just like writing life-threatening warnings at the back of cigarette packs isn't enough to deter smokers. A few words of warning won't detect Cutscene Simulator, Divinity Original Sin, or Baldur's Gate lovers of wanting to try the game in its infant stages. So let's talk about some of the immersion breaking problems of the game right now and speculate on the future. In a game where almost everything is voiced, your character is mostly a silent protagonist. The full game is set to have fully voiced characters on release, both custom and origin characters. The silent protagonist may not seem like a big deal, but by the time this starts bothering you, the 2 hours of playtime would have passed and Gaben will probably deny your refund. A lot of cutscenes are missing, glitchy or difficult to trigger. The oddest issue to me is triggering Gale's romance. You need to trigger several scenes while in a certain area with specific choices in order to be offered the romance option. This is a high discrepancy in contrast to the other companions who mainly require only approval for a beautiful sexy time.
You read an invitation in her eyes.
Give your meat a good old rub.
Yeah, boy.
You play the game in a usual party of 4 and the map design streamlines you into playing on the side of the supposed good guys. I appreciate the incentives offered for following the heroic and neutral path, but if you're an evil edgelord, you have to deny being good rather than starting off as evil, and the game will take most opportunities to call you a
You bastard!
You bastard! You bastard!
Yo Larian, it feels like there's a story behind that word. Come on, you can tell us. On the mechanical side, you can experience friendlies attacking you because you try to play catch with your dog. The combat turn order can be in a constant loop, the same camp cutscene can be shown multiple times during one playthrough, and there will be weird camera angles. There are immortal tiefling children, but goblin children are mortal because reasons. And many more oddities that others experience regularly. Despite the current technical and mechanical inconsistencies, I think Baldur's Gate 3 has improved since day one and it will continue to improve, but I believe it isn't in a buy it and enjoy it level of early access, and it probably won't be until release, because Larian's model tracks elements like map movement, ability usage and story choices. It's not an EA model which will procedurally add content until there is enough to blend together as a full release. There will be a huge chunk of content that will become available on release, as well as surprise features, because Sven likes creeping features. I think the best time to buy will be 6 months after release, due to the quality of life additions, performance stabilization and massive bug squishes that are bound to happen. This still might not be enough to deter you from buying, so let's take a look for things outside of the game: data gathering, the forum wars and player burnout. Baldur's Gate 3 has been in EA from October 2020, and their forums have been active on the topic for far longer than that. We know that Larian collects quantifiable data like spells used, character facial features, dialogue choices, paths taken during our adventures, quests completed, and many others. I'd wager that most of us have over 100 hours of playtime. Some overachievers are even above 1000. That's a lot of data. Whatever player behavior image that they wanted to extract from EA, I'm sure they already have it after such a long time. Especially due to EA being restricted to the cliffhanger stories of Act 1. The Larian forums are filled with people that are both in support and criticizing the development of Baldur's Gate 3 with its implemented features, as well as those that the community wants. The main developer to consumer interaction is segregated to the panels from hell that happen every 4 to 6 months on Twitch, which discuss the latest changes of the patches. Despite Sven's emphasis on each panel that they read the forums, there is little to no communication from the developer elaborating on tackling long discussed and popular topics such as the day and night cycle, camping, and the party size Discord. There was and still is a massive information famine on what features are worked on or are coming. Given that you want to buy into EA, consider if you are satisfied with experiencing an incomplete and sometimes glitchy story, engaging with the community that is provided little information on the future of the game, and possibly waiting for more than 1 year for its release, all while spending dozens of hours completing quests which provide little closure. If you are still thinking about giving early access a shot, please voice your opinion on how the game can improve, as well as what combination of features would lure you into taking the dive into EA. You can communicate this either on their forum or even in my video, and I will possibly try to articulate and expand upon it in another segment. And whatever decision you make after this video, I hope this information helps you enjoy your experience. I went into early access on the presumption that Larian bit off more than it can chew with the cinematic approach of the story, and that they will take their time while making this game, possibly until 2024. I am incredibly fond and satisfied with my experience of over 800 hours played, but I will continue to play more sparingly due to frequent burnout. However, I made this video because I think it will be longer than a year before they release the game, mainly due to the surprise factor of segregating extra development time for last-minute new semi-tested creeping features and performance optimization of everything added. That's about all the broad strokes that you need to know, dudes. I hope you learned something. Let me know if you want to expand upon something that I said. Have fun and have a beautiful day.